The story begins in the heart of New York City. Our main character, Maya Johnson, is a 23-year-old black woman with big dreams, but very little opportunity. She has always been fascinated by fashion, the lights, the creativity, the artistry. Ever since she was a child, she dreamed of walking down glamorous runways, dressed in designs that would inspire the world. But reality has been much harsher. By day, Maya works as a waitress at a small cafe in Harlem. She spends long hours carrying trays and pouring coffee for people who rarely notice her. By night, she studies design and practices walking in front of the mirror in her tiny apartment, pretending that the cracked wooden floor is a glittering runway. She cannot afford modeling school or fancy agencies, but her determination never fades. One evening, as she's cleaning tables after a long shift, a family friend named Andre, a freelance photographer, walks in. Andre has always admired Maya's unique look, her deep brown skin that glows under any light, her natural confidence, and her piercing gaze that tells a story without words. He sits her down and says, "Maya, I know this may sound crazy, but I managed to get you an invitation to one of the most prestigious fashion galas in the city. It's the annual Harlow Gala, where the biggest designers, models, and celebrities all come together." Maya nearly drops the cloth in her hand. "Me? At the Harlow Gala? Andre? I don't belong in a place like that. That's for stars, for real models, not for someone like me." But Andre insists, "No, Maya, you do belong there. You just don't know it yet. Don't let them decide your worth. Walk in there, look around, and remember, you have the right to be seen." With trembling hands, Maya takes the golden envelope from him. The invitation feels unreal. Thick paper embossed with elegant letters, her name written across it. She stares at it for a long time, her heart racing between excitement and fear. That night, lying in bed, she holds the invitation close to her chest. She knows this could be the beginning of something extraordinary or the most humiliating night of her life. But she makes a silent promise to herself, no matter what happens, I will not run away from this chance. And so, the stage is set. A young woman from humble beginnings, with nothing but her courage, is about to step into the dazzling, unforgiving world of high fashion, where prejudice hides behind luxury, and where she will soon face her first true test. The night of the gala arrives. The streets of Manhattan are alive with flashing lights, sleek black cars, and photographers screaming the names of celebrities as they step onto the red carpet. Inside the grand ballroom of the Harlow Gala, chandeliers glitter overhead, and every corner of the room radiates wealth and exclusivity. Maya arrives alone, clutching her small black clutch like a lifeline. She wears a simple but elegant dress she borrowed from a neighbor. Nothing designer, nothing flashy, but it highlights her tall, graceful figure. As she steps through the grand doors, she feels every pair of eyes turn toward her. Conversations pause, champagne glasses freeze midair. For a brief moment, Maya imagines they are staring because they see her beauty. But then she catches the smirks, the whispers. Who is she? She doesn't look like she belongs here. Maybe she's staff who walked in by mistake. Her stomach twists, but she lifts her chin, remembering Andre's words. You have the right to be seen. At the center of the ballroom stands Richard Harlow, the legendary fashion designer himself. Tall, silver-haired, dressed immaculately in a tailored white suit, he is surrounded by admirers. Richard has built an empire. His name is synonymous with luxury. But behind the charm lies arrogance, and everyone knows he looks down on those he deems unworthy of his brand. When Richard's sharp eyes land on Maya, the crowd seems to part, as if waiting for his judgment. He steps toward her with a thin smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "And who might you be?" he asks, his voice smooth but dripping with condescension. Maya straightens her back, forcing herself to meet his gaze. "My name is Maya Johnson. I was invited." She carefully shows him the golden invitation. Richard glances at it for a split second before laughing, loud enough for everyone around to hear. "Invited? To my gala? There must be some mistake." He waves his hand dismissively. Then, lowering his voice just enough to be cruel, he adds, "This is an event for real models, real talent. Not for waitresses playing dress-up. Laughter ripples through the group around him. Several women cover their mouths with jeweled hands. Men smirk into their champagne glasses. Maya feels heat rush to her face, her throat tightening as humiliation threatens to crush her. She wants to disappear, to melt into the floor. For a moment, her grip on the clutch tightens so hard her knuckles turn white. But instead of leaving, she forces herself to take a slow breath. Her mother's words echo in her memory. Never let anyone tell you what you're worth. They don't own your future. Maya doesn't reply to Richard's insult. She doesn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her break. Instead, she nods politely, turns, and walks deeper into the ballroom. The whispers follow her, sharp as knives. She knows she's already marked, an outsider in a world that does not want her. But she also knows one thing with absolute certainty. She will not walk away. Not tonight. And in that decision, her story of defiance truly begins. Maya slips away from the laughter and the stares, her heart pounding in her chest. The ballroom is breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers shimmer overhead, gold accents sparkle on the walls, and elegant gowns sweep across the polished marble floor. But for Maya, it feels like a hostile stage where every spotlight is a weapon pointed at her. She walks to a quieter corner, near the massive windows overlooking the city. The New York skyline glitters in the night, as if the city itself is reminding her of the millions of stories of struggle and triumph written in its streets. Maya exhales, fighting the tears burning at the edge of her eyes. What am I even doing here? She whispers to herself. They're right. I don't belong. I'll never belong. She thinks of Richard's mocking smile, the cruel laughter echoing in her ears. For a moment, she considers slipping out the back door, disappearing into the shadows, and pretending this night never happened. It would be so easy. No one here cares if she stays or leaves. But then, deep inside her memory, she hears her mother's voice. Warm, strong, unshakable. Maya, the world will try to tell you that you are small, that you are invisible. But listen to me, child. Your worth is not theirs to decide. When they shut the door, you walk through the window. When they laugh, you stand taller. You do not run. You rise. Maya closes her eyes, letting those words wrap around her like armor. Slowly, she straightens her back, rolls her shoulders, and wipes away the single tear that dared to escape. Her reflection in the window stares back at her. Tall, graceful, beautiful. Not a mistake. Not an accident. A woman who has every right to be here. At that moment, a waiter passes by with a tray of champagne flutes. Maya takes one, not to drink, but to hold as if it's a badge of confidence. She forces herself to walk back into the crowd, head high, eyes forward. Some guests glance at her with smug amusement, expecting to see a broken girl. Instead, they see poise. They see dignity. Across the room, Richard notices her return. His smirk fades slightly. He had expected her to run, to crumble. But she hasn't. She's still standing. Maya doesn't look at him. She doesn't need to. Inside her, a fire has been lit. A quiet, steady flame of determination. She whispers under her breath, so softly no one else can hear. You think I don't belong? Watch me prove you wrong. And with that vow, Maya decides. She will not leave this gala until the night itself knows her name. The gala unfolds with its usual rhythm. Glittering conversations, flashes of cameras, and champagne flowing endlessly. Maya moves quietly among the crowd, no longer trying to blend in but watching, listening. She studies the models, tall, polished, gliding through the ballroom like living art. She studies the designers, each one glowing under the adoration of the press. But beneath the glamour, she notices something else. Insecurity. Every smile is rehearsed, every laugh calculated, every compliment spoken through gritted teeth. It is a world of masks. Suddenly, a hush falls over the room as an announcement echoes across the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, the runway presentation will begin shortly. Please take your seats. The lights dim, the music swells, and guests move toward the long runway that cuts through the center of the ballroom. Maya slips into a spot near the back, clutching her clutch like a shield. She has no seat, no official place, but she refuses to leave. Backstage, chaos erupts. Models rush in and out. Stylists adjust gowns. Assistants whisper frantically into headsets. And then, panic. One of the show's lead models, a tall blonde named Victoria, suddenly stumbles. Her ankle twists violently. She cries out in pain. "She can't walk! She's down!" shouts a voice. The director of the event, a sharp-eyed woman named Claudia Reyes, storms into the circle of panic. No, no, no. This cannot happen right now. Richard's main dress has no model. The entire finale is ruined. Richard himself appears, furious. "Get her up. Tape the ankle if you have to." But Victoria shakes her head, tears streaming down her face. "I can't walk, Richard. I can't even stand." The room freezes. Everyone knows the finale dress, the centerpiece of Richard's new collection, must be shown. Without it, the entire event will be considered a failure. Claudia paces, her mind racing. Then her eyes scan the room and land on Maya, standing quietly in the corner, tall and poised despite everything. Claudia strides over, heels clicking like gunshots. "You," she says firmly. Maya blinks, startled. "Me?" "Yes, you. You have the height, the frame. Can you walk a runway?" The question knocks the air out of Maya. Her voice trembles. I've practiced, but never in front of people like this." Claudia doesn't blink. "Good enough. Get her into the dress, now." Richard explodes. "Are you insane, Claudia? She's not a model. She's not even supposed to be here. Do you want to destroy my show?" But Claudia snaps back, her voice like steel. "Do you want your finale to disappear? Because unless you've got another 6-foot goddess hidden in your pocket, she's our only option." The room holds its breath. Richard glares at Maya, hatred burning in his eyes. He sees her standing there, this young black woman he had mocked not an hour ago, now about to wear his most important creation. "Over my dead body," he hisses. But Claudia has already made the call. 2 assistants rush forward, pulling Maya toward the dressing area. Before she can even protest, she's surrounded by fabrics, zippers, and hands adjusting every seam. The finale gown, an intricate cascade of silver and white, slides over her body like it was made for her. Maya stands before the mirror, transformed. She hardly recognizes herself. The girl who walked into this gala unsure and humiliated is gone. In her place stands a queen draped in fire and light. Her chest rises and falls as fear collides with determination. She whispers to herself, "This is it, Maya. This is your moment. Don't waste it." Behind her, Claudia's voice cuts through the noise. "You walk that runway like you own it. Understand?" Maya nods, her heart thundering. The music swells again. The audience is waiting. The lights shift. And Maya takes her first step toward the runway, the world about to witness the chance of a lifetime. The room darkens. A single spotlight strikes the beginning of the runway. The audience murmurs with anticipation. This is the moment they've been waiting for. The finale of the Harlow Gala. The unveiling of Richard's most prized design. Backstage, Maya stands frozen for a heartbeat. Her pulse thunders in her ears. She feels the weight of the gown, heavy with sequins and layers, pulling her down. For a second, the humiliation of earlier flashes back. Richard's smirk, the laughter of the crowd, the whispers that she did not belong. Her knees tremble. What if I trip? What if they laugh again? What if I ruin everything? Then, Claudia's voice slices through her panic. "Maya, listen to me. When you walk out there, you're not just wearing a dress. You are the finale. The show depends on you. Forget them. Own it." Maya closes her eyes. She pictures her mother's voice again. "You do not run. You rise." Slowly, her breathing steadies. She lifts her chin, sets her shoulders back, and places one foot in front of the other. The curtain parts. Gasps ripple through the ballroom as Maya steps into the light. The gown shimmers like liquid silver. clinging to her form and exploding into cascading fabric with every step. The design is breathtaking, but the audience isn't staring at the gown alone. They are staring at her. Richard, seated in the front row, stiffens. His jaw clenches so tightly the veins in his neck strain. This was not how his finale was supposed to look. The whispers begin. Who is she? I've never seen her before. She's stunning. Maya takes her first step down the runway. Her posture is flawless, her face calm but commanding. Every movement is deliberate, every glance forward filled with power. The fear that once tried to drown her has transformed into fuel. But as she walks, she can feel Richard's glare burning into her, like a challenge. You don't belong here. She answers without words. Each step becomes a declaration. Step. I belong. Step. I am worthy. Step. Watch me. By the halfway point, the room is utterly silent, the kind of silence that means every soul is holding its breath. Then, like a wave, the energy shifts. Applause begins, tentative at first, then stronger. Camera flashes explode across the runway. Maya reaches the end of the stage, pauses, and strikes her pose. She doesn't glance at Richard. She doesn't need to. She raises her chin and lets the cameras drink in her presence. The applause erupts into thunder. People rise from their seats. The crowd is no longer laughing. They are captivated. What was supposed to humiliate her has become her triumph. Richard buries his face in his hands, seething. He has been outshone at his own gala, by the very woman he tried to dismiss. Maya turns, the gown flowing like a river behind her, and makes her walk back down the runway. Her eyes are steady, her movements powerful. Each step feels like victory. Each heartbeat tells her, you've won this battle. When she disappears backstage, breathless and trembling, Claudia grabs her shoulders with a fierce smile. Do you see what you just did? You didn't just save the show. You owned it. Maya exhales, her chest rising with pride she has never felt before. For the first time in her life, she is not invisible. She is undeniable. The ballroom is electric. As Maya vanishes backstage, the sound of applause refuses to die. It rolls through the hall like thunder, echoing against marble walls, swelling louder and louder until it becomes a standing ovation. Guests who moments ago whispered in mockery are now on their feet, clapping, cheering, some even whistling. The photographers are relentless. Camera flashes fire like lightning. Their lenses are hungry, desperate to capture the face everyone is suddenly talking about. Screens on journalists' phones already glow with breaking headlines. Unknown model stuns at Harlow Gala finale. The mystery woman who stole the show. Maya stands just behind the curtain, trembling. Her chest rises and falls in shallow breaths. She can still feel the heat of the lights, the rhythm of her heels against the runway floor. She has walked through fire and come out unburned. Claudia rushes to her, gripping her by the arms with an intensity that makes Maya's heart race. Maya, do you hear them? That ovation isn't for Richard. It's for you. Maya shakes her head, stunned. I don't understand. I was never supposed to be here. I'm nobody. Claudia's eyes sharpen. No, Maya. Tonight you are somebody. And after this, the whole world will know your name. Back in the ballroom, Richard sits stiffly, his face carved into stone. He doesn't clap. He doesn't smile. His empire, his reputation, was meant to be lifted by that finale gown. But instead, the spotlight has shifted entirely to Maya. Around him, editors, photographers, and influencers are already buzzing, pointing to their screens, whispering about her. She has presence. Look at her posture. It's natural. That's not a beginner. That's star quality. Richard seethes, but he cannot stop it. His silence only makes the applause louder. Meanwhile, backstage, assistants and stylists gather around Maya, their eyes wide with admiration. One timidly asks, "Can I take a photo with you?" Another says, "I've never seen Richard's dress look that alive on anyone before." Maya's heart swells. Hours ago, she was the outsider, the girl whispered about and mocked. Now, in this moment, she feels the tide turning. She has become not just a part of the show. She is the show. Suddenly, Claudia shoves a phone into her hands. The screen is open to social media. Maya's face is already everywhere. Her walk captured in shaky live streams, her pose at the end of the runway, frozen in countless screenshots. Thousands of comments pour in. Who is she? Finally, a model who looks like real beauty. She owned that runway. Harlow should thank her. Representation matters. She's the queen of tonight. Maya's throat tightens as she scrolls. Strangers, people she has never met, are celebrating her. For the first time, the world sees her not as an outsider, not as invisible, but as undeniable. She lifts her gaze, her eyes shining, and whispers to herself, "Mama, I did it. They see me now." The applause in the ballroom continues to roar, a storm that will not quiet. And though Richard Harlow may not have planned it, his finale has become legendary. Not because of him, but because of Maya. Her humiliation has been rewritten into triumph, and the night is far from over. The night after the gala, New York City is buzzing. Every fashion blog, every magazine, every trending hashtag carries the same name, Maya Johnson. Clips of her walk spread across social media like wildfire. Commentators call her the surprise star of the Harlow Gala. Young women around the world repost her photos with messages of inspiration. If she can, I can too. Her face becomes the symbol of the night, eclipsing even the designer whose name was on the invitations. Inside her small apartment in Harlem, Maya sits cross-legged on her bed, still wearing the borrowed dress. The gown is gone, returned to the assistants, but the glow of what she accomplished remains. Her phone will not stop buzzing. Unread emails, Instagram tags, direct messages. Andre, the photographer who gave her the invitation, bursts into the room holding his camera. His grin stretches ear to ear. "Maya, you're everywhere. Do you realize what you just did?" Maya laughs nervously, shaking her head. "It feels like a dream, Andre. Just yesterday I was carrying trays of coffee. Today," she trails off, her voice breaking with disbelief. Andre finishes her sentence. "Today, you carried the entire fashion world on your shoulders." The next morning, her inbox is overflowing with offers. Major modeling agencies want to sign her. Brands want her as the face of their campaigns. Interviews are being requested by Vogue, Elle, and even television networks. But not everyone is celebrating. At his office, Richard Harlow fumes. The press has labeled his finale a historic moment. But every article highlights Maya, not his collection. Critics are calling it the night an outsider saved Harlow's reputation. What was meant to showcase his genius has instead exposed his prejudice. His pride is shattered. Meanwhile, Maya steps into her very first agency meeting. The office is sleek, modern, filled with giant posters of the world's top models. A tall woman in a tailored suit greets her warmly. "Maya, we saw your walk last night. You have something rare, presence, authenticity. We'd be honored to represent you." Maya hesitates, overwhelmed. "But I'm not trained. I've never been to modeling school. I don't even know the rules." The agent smiles. "The rules? Maya, last night you rewrote them, and the world loved it." Maya exhales, her heart swelling with pride. She thinks of her mother's words, of Claudia's faith, of Andre's encouragement. Every humiliation, every doubt, every cruel laugh has led her here to this moment of choice. She signs the contract with steady hands. Weeks later, Maya makes her official debut as the lead model in another major fashion show. This time, her name is printed in the program. She is not a last-minute replacement. She is not an outsider. She is the star. As she walks down the runway, cameras flashing, the audience roaring, she whispers to herself the words she once promised in the quiet of her heart. "They wanted me to disappear. Instead, I rose. I showed them who I am." The lights blaze, the applause rises, and Maya Johnson claims her rightful place. not just as a model, but as a symbol of strength, resilience, and change. Her journey has only just begun.